Hello and welcome again to another episode of It's Just Our Opinion. This is our 53rd show and I appreciate you tuning in. Today I have a very special guest. She's been on the show before, but she's back tonight. Ellie Blackwood, glad to have you back with us.
Glad to be here.
You know, someday I'm hoping Ellie will take over the show whenever I get to be where my walker won't fit behind the table. I can just sit over here and watch you do that. You plan on taking over for me someday?
I may.
Well, you know, the money's not real good. It don't pay anything so far. In fact, it's cost me thousands of dollars to do this thing. I don't make any money on it. Now, since I brought that up, if anybody out there wants to sponsor this show, you can send me a private message. We'd take sponsorships, wouldn't we? We'd even wear their shirt or their hat or something if they sent us a check along with it. It wouldn't have to be a big check either, would it? How much do you think we'd need? $50? 100?
50, 100, that sounds about right.
Would you wear a hat for $50? I would too. I'd probably wear one. I'd wear a hat and a shirt for 100. So if you want to sponsor this show, we can't say a lot about you sponsoring it, but we could sure wear your hats with your logos and shirts and stuff on it. Well, listen, Alabama, Ellie, we don't get much snow.
Mm-mm.
Since you're what, 13? How many snows have you seen?
Not that many.
Not that many. Probably out of the 13 years you've been here, you have probably seen snow here in Alabama. Now I know you've traveled around and seen a bunch of snow. But here in Alabama, you've probably only seen 5 snows, probably only 3 real good ones where it's enough to make snowmen and all that. But now y'all traveled out west 2 years ago and you've seen a lot of snow. I mean, you went to where, Texas, Colorado, I can't think, Minnesota, several places. You've seen a lot of snow then.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how was that? Was that pretty neat?
Oh yeah, it was very different from snow here. That's for sure.
A lot different, like probably a lot colder too, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, I don't like snow. I don't like any cold weather. What about you?
I'm not a big fan of it.
Yeah, you know, we don't even make snowmen here. We hate it so bad. We just kind of stay in the house and look at it. But I'm sure we get out and walk in it some. We have to. But this snow that we just had couldn't make a snowman, could you?
Mm-mm.
Wouldn't big enough. And I was glad of it because I just didn't like it. I got up this morning, went outside at 7 o'clock, and it was 12 degrees. 12. I mean, that's a 1 and a 2. That was cold. But now the wind chill was 1 degrees, just 1. Now I was thinking, now why didn't the weather folks go ahead and knock it on down one more and let it be 0? Because, you know, then it's really dramatic, you know. Well, 1's pretty bad, but you know, 1 degree is cold. Well, I don't like it. I don't like winter. Anybody that likes winter, raise your hand. So neither one of us, folks, y'all seen it. Neither one of us raised her hand. And so we just don't like winter. Well, let's talk about school. Now, school, you've been having regular school all during the week, except on Wednesdays this year. And that's because of COVID. Wednesdays, they take a day off and they have virtual school. Now, when I was growing up and when Regina was growing up, and probably a lot of y'all that's watching this was growing up, if you had a snow day, you didn't have to do school. Well, what happened to y'all today?
We got out for a snow day today, but we still had to do work virtually. So
Virtual. They made them do school on a snow day, virtual school. Come on, folks, watching this. People, why would you want your kids to have to work on a snow day? I mean, you're supposed to relax and have fun. Now, kids are supposed to have fun on snow day. We all had it, but they made it be a virtual day. And since you probably emailed you work to do, didn't you?
Yeah, we had work to do today.
Had a lot of work to do. So say that's terrible. That's terrible. A snow day ought to be a free day. I mean, that's all you can say about it. A snow day ought to be a free day. But did you have fun? Did you get your work done quick where you could at least get out and play some?
Yeah, I was able to go out and play some. But I got cold quick, so.
Well, I got cold real quick when I went out too. But anyway, that's the way it is. We had snow, we had school out, had virtual school, and tomorrow is Wednesday, which a lot of y'all are going to see this, which be today. Wednesday will be today when you see it, but that's a regular virtual day, and so that we okay with that, even though it's still snow on the ground. But anyway, cold weather, I hate it. You like cold weather?
Well, I'm a little iffy about it, but it's more on the negative side for me.
More on the negative, two negatives right here, and that hey, nobody hardly likes winter. Well, another thing and this is still related to schools, it's nearly prom season. Most of the time, proms come up around March, April, and they're always the schools they've been doing proms. I mean, a long time. Even when I was in school, I mean, they go way back further than I do. Of course, you're in the what grade?
8th grade.
The 8th grade. So you're not allowed to go to proms. You got to be 11th or 12th grader to go to proms. But the school is always sponsored. Well, because of COVID this year, the schools are not sponsoring any proms. They have to be parent sponsored. So they're having to do fundraisers and really go out and beg people to give them money so that their kids can go and have the prom, the traditions. And I don't really want you to have to comment too much on that, since you got to go to school and they may get on you. The teacher say, Ellie, you talking about us. You wouldn't do that, of course. But that ain't right either. If we have ball games, we have all kind of stuff where kids gather at, but they wear their mask and stuff. Why can't the schools have the proms too? I mean, come on. This COVID is terrible. It's a terrible disease. We can't see it, but we're allowing kids to go to ball games. We're allowing them, to do other activities and stuff after school, and the school are sponsoring all of that stuff. But the prom, something that's real important to most seniors and juniors, because you got to be one of the two to go. So, but anyway, if you live in an area to where your school is not being able to sponsor the prom, and your parents are having to raise money so the kids don't have to really pay a lot of money, and you have snacks and music and all that. If you live in an area that does that, find out who the parent is in charge of that. Call the school and ask them, and send them a donation and help them out on that. Don't make the parents have to come up with all that. I mean, it's something that we all had growing up. So, help them out there. You can call the school and they'll tell you who's in charge of it. Well, Ellie, yesterday, one of our younger cows, I guess calves, her heifer, I guess is what they're called, 3 years old, Molly is her name, had her first calf. Her first calf out in the ice and snow. And so we brought it up to the barn. Regina names all of her cows. She names everything we have. She named this one Elsa, after some girl in the movie Frozen. And so, speaking of Frozen, we got one of the characters here come to visit with us. Now, what's his name?
Sven.
Say that again?
Sven.
That's right. Y'all heard that. Right there. And it'll actually talk. Bump them horns again. Listen at it. Oh, it didn't say it loud enough. Well, anyway, that's I guess it wanted to come inside because it's so cold outside, but it was in the movie Frozen, so you think it'd be used to cold weather. So anyway, this calf, let me tell you about this calf. This Molly will not let Elsa nurse. So we're having to put her in a head catch and feed her so the baby can get milk. Now, if Molly could talk like we do, I would tell her that's just not right. But every time I try to talk, you know what she does? She just won't she will not let that baby nurse unless we've got her in a head catch. Now, that's going to be a long journey if she does that till that calf's 3 or 4 months old. That's ever morning and every afternoon going out there and having to work with her. Now, I know you probably going to volunteer to do that some for me. You hadn't yet, and I don't want to put you on the spot in front of these thousands of people that's watching, but I'm sure you'd be interested in helping do that with. Now, you've got a cow. Well, supposed to calf here just any day. Now, what's her name?
Lulu.
Now, I think this will be Lulu's 4th calf when she had. And you know what's neat about this? Is Molly is Lulu's oldest daughter. And so we'll have some granddaughters and all this stuff in this cow business. I don't think they really get into granddaughters and stuff like we do. Now, we all want to know our grandma because grandma and grandpas, they always give us money and stuff. But now cows, I don't think a grandma cow would bring extra hay over to the granddaughter. But you know, I guess it'd be hard to do that, wouldn't it? But anyway, we hoping that Molly will start letting Elsa nurse on her own before long. Well, anyway, we was doing something the other night. I was sitting here. I love to play on Facebook, play on it, scan. There's always videos on there. Now, most of the videos on there is not as serious as our show. You know that. I mean, most of them are not this serious. I mean, but we was watching one, and Ellie actually come in, and now, you want to tell what happened, or you want me to tell?
I'm gonna let you talk about it.
We had this guy going down an escalator in one of these little squeezy things. It made it sound like he was passing gas, and everybody was trying to back up. They thought and a few people actually grabbed their nose like they thought he was doing it, but really he just squeezing that thing. You know, and another scene of it was in one of the stores, grocery stores, shopping around, people shopping, and he'd walk by them and squeeze that thing and make them think he had gas and stuff. And some people didn't like it, did they?
They didn't like it one bit.
They kind of like they was mad at him. But now, just curious, what would you do if you was shopping in the store and looking at something and somebody walked by you and passed gas like that? Would you say something to him?
I probably wouldn't say anything. I'd just probably think about it the rest of the day. I'd be a little disturbed by it.
Well, would you laugh?
I'd probably laugh.
Well, let me ask you this. Would you ever go in a store like that and do that around somebody?
Mm-mm.
So, you know, really and truly, we all know really passing gas is supposed to be a private issue where you kind of do it, you know, just by yourself. But now, I love those videos, though, because people get so tore up about it. And so it's just really weird to watch how people respond. Of course, it's all a joke because they're not really doing it. They got the little bubble thing that they're squeezing and stuff. But it is funny. So, you know, it's just really like the time. Sometimes you just don't know what time it is. And so you're trying to see. And so then when you're pushing around, somebody does something like that, it makes you laugh. So anyway, well, Ellie, it has been fun having you back on the show. Now, Ellie loves music, and y'all are going to be shocked. I think we mentioned this last time you was on here. She likes music that was played during my age. Who's your favorite group?
Probably the Beatles.
The Beatles. Can you imagine a 13-year-old girl loving the Beatles? Now, she's even got a shirt that says the Beatles. So anyway, Ellie, thank you for being on. You got anything you want to say before we go?
No, I don't think so.
Nothing at all? Well, I don't either, except to say I appreciate you watching. I hope you'll share this with your friends, family, neighbors. Share it with everybody you want to. Let's try to get a bunch of shares on this. And look, we sell a lot of stuff, but don't worry about it if you don't like what we said. It's just our opinion.